H.P. Lovecraft was one of the greatest horror writers ever to put words to paper. His tales of horror, all short stories, were creepy, evocative, mysterious, and just plain weird. His stories can all stand alone, but he did invent a monster called Cthulhu that you might have heard of, a kind of octopus-faced demon. He wrote many stories about Cthulhu and his background and his relatives, and they're referred to by his fans as the Cthulhu mythos. What I love most about Lovecraft is his amazing use of language. Every sentence were works of art. So here are some examples of some of his great sentences for you to chew on.
I beheld such a sight as I had never beheld before, and which no living person can have seen, save in the delirium of fever or the inferno of opium. The children and the women folk whimpered, kept from screaming by some obscure vestigial instinct of defense which told them their lives depended on silence. Without warning came those deep, cracked, raucous vocal sounds which will never leave the memory of the stricken group who heard them. Not from any human throat were they born, for the organs of man can yield no such acoustic perversions. The thing came abruptly and unannounced, a demon, rat-like scurrying from the pits remote and unimaginable, a hellish panting and stifled grunting, and then from that opening beneath the chimney, a burst of multitudinous and leprous life, a loathsome night-spawned flood of organic corruption, more devastatingly hideous than the blackest conjurations of mortal madness and morbidity. I saw that they were dwarfed, deformed hairy devils or apes, monstrous and diabolic caricatures of the monkey tribe. And as the last of the monstrosities oozed up alone from that netherworld of unknown nightmare, I drew my automatic pistol and shot it under cover of the thunder. Shrieking, slithering, torrential shadows of red, viscous madness chasing one another through endless, ensanguined condors of purple fulgurous sky. Formless phantasms and kaleidoscopic mutations of a ghoulish, remembered scene. Forests of monstrous, overnourished oaks with serpent roots twisting and sucking unnameable juices from an earth verminous with millions of cannibal devils. Mound-like tentacles groping from underground nuclei of polypus perversion. Insane lightning over malignant ivied walls and demon arcades choked with fungus vegetation. The tramping drew nearer. Heaven save me from the sound of those feet and paws and hooves and pads and talons as it commenced to acquire detail. Down limitless reaches of sunless pavement, a spark of light flickered in the malodorous wind, and I drew behind the enormous circumference of a cyclopic column that I might escape for a while the horror that was stalking million-footed toward me through gigantic hypostyles of inhuman dread and phobic antiquity. A fiendish and ululent corpse gurgle or death rattle now split the very atmosphere, the charnel atmosphere poisonous with naphtha and bitumen blasts, in one concerted chorus from the ghoulish legion of hybrid blasphemies.
The annotated H.P. Lovecraft. That means I'm a big fan.